What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Yojide. So on today's episode, I'm going to be showing us how I made these Ankara shorts in 9 minutes. Yes, so it doesn't take time at all. All you need is your Ankara fabric and your fat elastic. So I decided to pair it with this wrap top, and this is what it looks like. I also wore it with this kimono dress that I made earlier. Yes, the same material. So guys, without further ado, let's get into the video. So this is the Ankara material. This is my fat elastic. I'll be needing my tailor's chalk, scissors, and my tape rule, of course. Yeah, so the first thing I'm going to do is just to open this up. So we are going to be cutting out the front pattern first. So I'm going to open the Ankara fabric up, and I'm going to fold it like this into two. You can see it is unfold, and I'm just using my office pin to hold down the edges so they don't slip. So the first thing I'm going to measure is the length of my short. So you're going to measure the length of where you want your short to get to. So I'm measuring 15 inches. You can see that's the length of my short. I'm just measuring this round, and I'm going to use my straight ruler to mark that. Then I'm also going to add 1.5 inches sewing allowance to the length of my shorts. So you can use 1.5 inches or 2 inches depending on how you want the seam to be. So now guys, the next thing I'm going to mark from the top of the Ankara is 2 inches across. So guys, this 2 inches is going to be for my fat elastic casing. So you can see I've measured 2 inches and I've ruled that out. So the next thing I'm going to take now from that 2 inches mark is my hip line, which is 8 inches. Then my crotch measurement, which is 12 inches. To get your crotch measurement, just sit on a chair or table, then measure from your waist down to the top of that table. So for mine, it is 12 inches. So the next thing I'm going to do is to mark a quarter of my hip circumference. 40 divided by 4, that's 10. I'm marking 10 inches on my hip line, my elastic casing line, and also the crotch line. So I'm going to join all the three measurements with a straight ruler like so. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do is to come to this crotch line. The measurement I've taken for my hip circumference, I'm going to come out by 2 inches. So for a size 8 to 10, use 2 inches. Then for size 12 and above, you use 2.5 inches. Then the next thing I'm going to do is to use my hip curve just to draw out that curve. Remember that 2 inches extension I made. So the next thing I'm going to do is to come to the seam line, and I'm going to mark half of my thigh measurement, my thigh circumference. So my thigh is 24 inches divided by 2, so I marked 12 on that line, and you can see I just joined it with the measurement I had above, and that is it for the front pattern. So this is what it looks like, and this is the elastic casing parts. You can see I'm just covering it. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to use the front pattern to cut out the back pattern. So I've just gone ahead to fold out the material again, and I simply placed the front pattern short on the back. So for the back, I'm just going to add 2 inches all around. You can see the part I'm adding the 2 inches to. It is that part that has the curve, that part that I cut out. So the part that is on fold is facing me. So I've gone ahead to add 2 inches all round for the back pattern. I'm just joining them with my straight ruler like this. Make sure you use office pins to hold down the front pattern to the back pattern so it doesn't slip while you take your measurement. So what I simply did was add 2 inches like I said, and I'm joining them with my straight ruler and my curve rule. So the next thing I'm going to do now is just to cut it out, and yeah, we are gradually getting somewhere. So this Ankara short is actually very, very simple to make, you know. So guys, I've gone ahead to cut out my front and back pattern, and this is what they look like. The next thing I'm going to do now is to slit open both patterns. So I'm slitting open that part that has been facing me, the part that has been on fold. So this is the elastic casing. So guys, the next thing I'm going to do now is to open this up, and I'm just going to place the right side on the right side. You can see just like this, and I'm going to take this to the sewing machine to sew down the crotch parts by 1/2 inch I'm going to do this for both front and back. Just sew down the crotch parts. So guys, I'm done sewing down the crotch part, and another thing I'm doing is to gradually iron as I sew. So guys, this is what it looks like. I've sewn down the crotch for the back and front. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to place the front pattern on the back pattern. So by the time you do this, you'll notice that the back pattern is bigger than the front. That's actually very normal. So the next thing I'm going to do now is to sew the inner crotch. You can see I'm just going to make sure they are well placed on each other, and I'm going to sew this down by 1/2 inch. So this is what it looks like. You can see. So now, as I was saying earlier, the back pattern is going to be bigger than the front pattern. That's perfectly normal. So the next thing I want to do now is to take this to the sewing machine to sew the sides. So when sewing, I'm just going to make sure that they are well aligned on each other, irrespective of the sizes. So this is what it looks like. Sew down by 1/2 inch, and I'm just turning this open. You can see. So this is what it looks like, and I'm also going to go ahead to iron the sides and the inner crotch. So guys, for that crotch part, you want to make sure you notch it, you know, so it can lay very flat. So by the time I put in the fat elastic, this is what it's going to look like. I'm just visualizing it here. So guys, the next I'm going to do now is to take this to the sewing machine. You can see that elastic casing I had, I've gone ahead to iron it, and I'm also going to sew it down. I've already gone ahead to do that actually. And also for the hem of the shirt, I've gone ahead to hold it in. So now for the elastic casing, after sewing, I left a little bit of space in the front part so that I can pass my elastic through. So guys, my waist is 30 inches. I'm just going to subtract about 9 inches away from that 30. So I cut out elastic casing of 21 inches. So depending on how tight or free you want the waist to be, you can subtract 9 inches, you can subtract 8, yes, or 6 even. So it's dependent on you, but for me I subtracted 9. So I cut out 21 inches elastic. So guys, the next thing I'm doing now is to pass my fat elastic into the elastic casing, and I'm using an office pin to do this. So when you're passing your elastic, you can just ensure that you also use another pin to pin down the fat elastic to the fabric, so it doesn't move in while passing the elastic through it. Yes, so it's because I want this to be very tight. That's why I used I subtracted 9 inches from 30 inches. So the standard should be 6 inches. So you can subtract 6 inches from your waist circumference. Then the remainder is what you cut out on the fat elastic. But because I want this to be very cinched around the waist, that's why I used 9 inches. So guys, I've already passed the elastic around the elastic casing. So the next thing I'm going to do is just to make sure it's properly arranged. You don't want the elastic casing to be folded, you know, inside the elastic casing. So I'm just making sure it is well arranged and aligned. So after that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take both ends of the elastic casing. I'm going to take this to the sewing machine and just stitch it down. I'm going to stitch it very well, like triple stitch in even, so it doesn't rip open. So guys, you can see I've passed the fat elastic into the casing. It's no more visible, so I'm going to take this to the sewing machine now to sew down that part, that opening. So I've already gone ahead to do this, and this is what it looks like. You can see that we made this in a very short time. So imagine you can make about 5 of these in a day even. So this is what it looks like. So guys, if you have any outfit you want me to make, let me know in the comment section down below. Kindly like this video, give it a big fat thick thumbs up, and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'm going to see you all in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.